So in life, whatever we want to do, we like to consider some things. Like when you're getting a house, you want to consider the area where you're getting the house, the size of the house, the worth of the house, and probably the price of the house, if you can afford it or not. So I'll be telling you the things you need to consider before you get married. Yes, marriage is a serious business. It is an institution that is being ordained and ordered by God. So we need to know some things before we get into it. So let's get into it right now. So, one of the things you need to consider before getting married is the person, not the parent. The fact that the parents are good does not mean that the child is good. Is the child good? Does he know God? Is he committed to God? So you need to consider that before getting married to that person. Don't just conclude by his parents are good, her parents are good, so she will be good. No, no, no. And another thing you need to consider before getting married is why you're getting married. Are you getting married because your parents say so? Oh, that's not good. So you have to be getting married because you feel it in your bones that you want to get married. So another thing you need to consider before getting married is, are you ready? Are you ready for marriage? Do you feel it's early? If you feel it's early, you can just, step back a little and wait and be sure. Because if you just get married when you feel it's early and you just go ahead with it, you might just miss out in the things of life and your youthful age, which you might regret, and you feel like you want to carry over that again. So you have to consider that before getting married. And another thing you want to consider before getting married is that people do not change. Yes, people do not change. So if there's something you do not like about the person you want to get married to, you have to tackle it now, like right now, because it is not likely to change after marriage or when you're married to that person. So you have to consider that. And if that person is not going to change, I feel like you need to, it's your decision to make actually. So it's something you need to consider before getting married. Another thing you need to consider before getting married is, are you are you going to be able to like manage the marriage financially? Yes, you need to consider that because ooh, even singles want to be financially free. So you don't want to, bring somebody to your life and you cannot manage the whole, that person, the home financially. You have to consider that. And another thing is you have to consider whether you have a place to stay after marriage. Yes. Do you have a place to stay after marriage, a home? A nice home? Somewhere home. You want to stay in a home, of course. So another thing you want to consider before getting married is cultural differences, guys. Cultural differences. I'm from Nigeria. Nigeria has 250 ethnic groups and 380 languages. And it's even better now because then some tribes cannot marry another tribe. It's just crazy, but now it's getting better. So you have to, but still it exists, the fact that some people do not agree to marrying another language. So you have to consider that because marriage is a long-term deal, so you do not want issues arising. You want a happy marriage, right? So you have to do that. Another thing you want to consider is education differences, like your level of education, you and your partner, your spouse. How like big is the difference of your education? You don't want to marry somebody in primary school when you have like a PhD. I mean, even your conversations would not rhyme. Yes, you want to marry someone of the same level or just a bit higher level so you don't feel intimidated or inferior. You want to marry someone you will be very comfortable with. So you need to consider that. And another thing I feel like you should consider is the duration. Yeah, the time at which you've known that person. I'm not saying maybe if you know somebody for 3 years, you've known that person like everything about that person, but at least when you spend some time with somebody, you begin to know things, and things that you would like and things that you would not like. So you need to consider how long you've been with this person. I'm not saying you should not you have to be in a relationship for 4 years or like 5 years or 3 years. I'm not saying that, but You have to know the person, right? And you have to consider that that person is your friend. You don't want to get married to someone who is like an enemy or is tough. You need to consider that that person is your friend. You want to get married to someone you can talk to, share your problems, your happiness, not someone you're scared to talk to. I mean, we feel with our friends and we can tell them almost everything. And marriage is an institution. You're always with this person. Yeah. If your spouse is that one that travels, at least maybe you talk on the phone, and you don't want to, marry someone who is not someone you can talk to. So you have to consider that that person is your friend. Is your spouse your friend? And if that is a yes, then we are cool. So you need to consider these things before you get married. Thank you.